here with Carlos Garcia Siller. He works for BMW, and we want to know what's your job in the company and what do you do daily.
Well, thank you. Welcome to the offices of BMW, especially the recruiting offices here in San Luis Potosí. Well, as you mentioned, my background, I studied international business here at Tec de Monterrey, campus San Luis Potosí. And I also have a master's degree in international relations for the University of Warwick in the UK, with different experience in public and private companies. 16 years of experience as a professional. And right now my responsibility is regarding all the recruiting activities of the new BMW plant in Mexico, which is based here in San Luis Potosí. The idea is that we start operations in 2019, and the number of employees that we will have beginning 2019 will be around 1,500.
Okay, thank you. Carlos, how does culture impact local business practices in BMW?
Well, BMW, as you know, is a German company. It's a multinational automobile German company, which has already accomplished 100 years of history, which is very important for us. And of course, well, this mix of culture, of the German culture with the Mexican culture, it's always affecting, but in a good way, the business practices. We think on a German, let's say, engineering with the Mexican passion, and that's part of our slogan. But at the end, we are only one inspired team. So culture can impact, but in our understanding in BMW here in Mexico and in San Luis Potosí, in a positive way, because you have to get the best from these two rich cultures and mix those best practices, and with those try to propose a vision, a mission for this plant. So this plant will have a different and unique mission and vision, different from the other 30 plants that BMW has around the world.
Okay, thank you very much. We're continuing with my partner. It's gonna ask you another different question.
Carlos, how does the company balance the need for global efficiency and local responsiveness in a cultural sense?
Efficiency is necessary, especially in the automotive industry. It's a very competitive industry with a lot of competitors. Some of them are going to be established here in San Luis Potosí. So one of the principles of BMW, of course, is quality, and behind quality it has to be efficient, and of course to provide the best product to our customers. And the response in a local sense, well, is to get the best of the talent here in Mexico, and that's part of my responsibility to get to the new project the best talent available. So with that talent, with the right people, with the right skills, with the right abilities, we think we can cope with this global, let's say, target, which is always to provide the best cars and the best mobility service to our customers. And so far we have been delivering that. Our German colleagues are very happy regarding what they have found in terms of the talent that we have in San Luis, and of course in general in Mexico. So that's how you really cope with the needs of the client, with the targets of the company, and of course with the talent that we are founding here in San Luis and in Mexico.
Thank you, Carlos. We have another question.
Yeah. Has the local culture ever required the company to alter its personal or corporate practices?
I don't like very much the word alter, because for me it has not a very positive connotation. But what the BMW has done is really modify or adapt, of course, their practices according to the local needs and the local practices. For example, in Mexico, well, you have different labor laws, for example, than in Europe or in other parts of the world. You have different working hours, you have different, let's say, ways of working, ways of handling people or managing people in general in a business, in a plant. So not altering, but really adapting those practices to the best practices that are happening in Mexico. So it's a continual learning process between the best practices that BMW has for more than 100 years in 30 different countries, and coming to Mexico and adapting the best practice from Mexican professionals and from Mexican companies as well. So it's a continuous learning. And BMW knows that in order to get success launching of this new plant, it has to adapt into the Mexican culture, into the Mexican values, into the Mexican working style. So it's been a relationship in which BMW has adapted different policies, different ways of doing business, of course, with the best Mexican practice, and adapted to Mexican laws and adapted to Mexican people, Mexican workers. And that's part of the key success, I guess, in terms of this mixture of cultures. That really, if you have a new business in a country like Mexico, you really need to adapt those practices, and of course be open to have the best available talent in the area, in the country. And that's our daily job here as a recruiting manager, is to really try to match those German expectations with what we have in the local market. And so far it has been successful, and well, the target and the idea is that in San Luis Potosí, this new plant, our target is to be the best BMW plant in the world. So it's not just to be the best plant in Mexico, no, our goal is to be the best plant of the group all around the world.
Okay, thanks, Carlos.
Carlos, do you have any advice for us young people to be competitive in a global market, to get a job, etc.?
Yes, I have an advice. The first of all is that you search what do you like, what is your passion. Then to match that on what you are good at, because sometimes it's different. Maybe I like to play football, but I'm not very good playing football. So I can be very passionate about playing soccer, but at the end maybe I'm not so good. So you have to match what you like with what you're good at, and then what is the market requiring in terms, in this case, for professionals or junior professionals, or careers in general. So if I love engineering and I'm good at engineering, and nowadays in San Luis Potosí there is a high need of engineers, that's a great match, no? But it can be in any aspect of life. I mean, it can be sports, it can be music, it can be studies, but at the end a profession is what you're going to do for the rest of your life. So for me it has to be something that you really like, so you will enjoy. Work should be like very enjoyable. You have to be good at it and prepare yourself to be good at it. And finally, it has to be something that the market is going to pay for it.